Hey everybody, thanks for joining Mike and Olive Review Things.
My name's Olive and this is my dad, Mike.
We're really excited. We're doing another Facebook Live. Unfortunately, if you're watching this on YouTube, you weren't able to join in on the comments, but we want to do this every single week on a specific show that's coming out every single week. And what's that show?
The Mandalorian! Finally, I said it right!
Finally, you said it right. So this discussion is going to be specifically about Chapter 3. We watched it yesterday. It came out on Friday. And we only talked about Episode 1. And there was a lot of things that we couldn't say because there's something that happens in the last 30 seconds of
That's mostly what we're going to be talking about.
And it's awesome. It's so great. But we didn't want, if people hadn't seen it, we didn't want anybody to get ruined because it's such a good surprise. So close your eyes or ears or just log off if you don't already know this. But what happens in the last few seconds of the first episode?
Baby Yoda!
Baby Yoda. So to be clear, we don't know actually if it's a baby Yoda or...
Because he did say it was 50 years old.
Well, yeah, it's 50 years old. Yoda was 900 years old. And so a child of that species could be 50. But that's the thing. That's one of the things that we want to talk about in here is kind of our theories of, I mean, what is this? What kind of is it related to Yoda? Is it a clone? Is it what?
Is it Yoda?
Is it Yoda? So we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's go on and talk. So we didn't review Chapter 2, but Chapter 2 is kind of like a little side quest, and it involved Jawas, and it involved
more Baby Yoda stuff.
And we found out that Baby Yoda has the Force. He lifted a mudhorn. That's what they called that thing with the giant egg, and it was trying to help the Mandalorian close up his wound. So you find out, okay, this thing is special. So, but Chapter 3 is interesting. So they get to the point, I think right away we're thinking, okay, well, he didn't kill Baby Yoda, and then he decided to turn the bounty in. I mean, he's a bounty hunter.
Yes.
And so that's what this episode's about. It's called The Sin. I think the chapter's called The Sin. And it's one of those things where
I thought it was called The Steal.
The Steal? No. I think it's called The Sin.
S-I-N, I think.
So he returns with Baby Yoda and he goes to the person that hired him and he gets paid in the steal. I'm blanking on the name of it. That's what happens when you do it live. Basker Skill? Yeah.
And we don't kill Steal.
And so it was like I was super nervous when he went back. What were you thinking? Were you thinking he was going to turn him in or what?
I was thinking, I knew that he would probably turn him in, but then, like, when he went back to his ship, since Baby Yoda was, like, playing with one of the things, I knew that he would go back since he would know that he would miss him, mostly.
Okay. So yeah, so what happens is he does turn Baby Yoda in and he gets his reward and then he asks what's going to happen to the child. And that's something that you're not allowed to do if you're a bounty hunter. You're not supposed to say what's going to happen to this person. I turned it in. That's part of the code. He breaks the code right there. He doesn't find out. But then he takes the steel and he goes back to the armory where all the Mandalorians live underground. We find out that they only come out one at a time. So you never know how many Mandalorians actually exist.
But then,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. He turns it in, and he gets an entire armor made out of the steel. So he's head to toe in shiny Basker steel. Basker steel?
We don't kill steel.
I gotta look it up because I'm gonna say it so many times. And he goes back, and he's about to leave. He's taking another job. Besker Steel, Beskar. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. But he then goes back, and like Olive said before, he sees this little thing that Baby Yoda was playing with, and it made him want to go back and save him. And so he took fully armored. He goes, he beats the stormtroopers. He gets Baby Yoda. We find out the doctor might be a good guy. Like he was he was like, please don't kill me. I'm the only thing that's making sure that this thing is still alive. So we'll probably find out a little bit more there. But then when he leaves, all the bounty hunters find out that, okay, your next job is trying to kill the Mandalorian and getting Baby Yoda back. And so he runs into all of them. Like, they won't let him leave his planet. And then out of nowhere, all the Mandalorians come and they fly, and they all have jetpacks, and like 5 of them look like Boba Fett, and they save him.
Yes.
And he and Baby Yoda fly away, and Baby Yoda immediately goes back to playing with that thing.
Yes.
And so that's the end of the episode.
And the Mandalorian lets him, because the first time,
right.
he was like, put that back.
Yep. He's knowing what it's like to be a father. Where he's like, stop playing with that. And then eventually you're like, okay, fine, play with it. So I thought this episode was awesome. I thought it was, we learned a lot. We found out exactly, I think one of the big questions was, what's he going to do when he finally gets back and turns it in? Is he going to get the bounty? Is he going to turn Yoda in? And we find out he does all of it. He turns Yoda in, he gets his reward, he makes a full thing of armor, and then he goes back and kills everybody. So, I mean, we still don't really know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I mean,
we kind of think it might be both, or kind of maybe a bad guy, but not really, because, well,
he's all over the place.
He's mostly trying to protect himself.
He's protecting himself, yeah. I mean, we'd love to hear you guys in the comments, seeing you if you think he's a good guy or a bad guy. I mean, he's right there in the middle. But yeah, so it's interesting. So what's so cool about this show, and this isn't my theory by any means, but somebody else's, is that it really reminds you of playing a video game where you have a main quest. And so his main quest is to get Yoda and then bring him back and get his armor. And so you're like leveling up. But then there's these side missions like, oh man, right in the middle of I thought I was going, the Jawas steal most of my ship, and I have to get it back, and I have to go find a mudhorn, and I have to get this egg for them, and you turn it in.
What? How did they say it? Oh,
Suka. The egg. Just sitting there eating egg yolk with her hands. But yeah, and so it's really cool if you think of it that way. And so this episode was very true. Like, he leveled up, he got more armor, he met like his friends or people that work with him. He went back and got Yoda. Now he's going to be the most wanted person thing in the universe because he has Baby Yoda, and he basically stole all that Bastard steel. So it's interesting. I love it. I thought it was great. But let's talk about Yoda. All right, we have to talk about Baby Yoda. So
Baby Yoda eats frogs.
Baby Yoda eats frogs. I was like, what's he eat? Or was it you or Mom? It was like, what's he eat? And then like 30 seconds later, he's just swallowing a frog.
And the Mandalorian says,
put that back. Put that out of your mouth. So I think they've done an incredible job. But we got to figure out So here are the options. We'd love to hear more options if you guys have them. But what is Baby Yoda? So the options are he's actually the son or daughter of Yoda. All right. So he's 50. He's 50 years old. So Yoda would have been alive when he was born. Okay. So that's an option. So Yoda mated with a female Yoda and made this baby. Okay, so that's an option. Then the other option could be he's a clone of Yoda. So in episode 2, we find out that the Caminos clone Jango Fett, which makes Boba Fett, and makes the whole clone army. And who knows? I mean, there's a chance that
Boba Fett. Wait. I don't get it.
I'm sorry. So we find out that there's clones. And then Yoda is actually the one that goes to Camino to like get the clone army. So there's a chance that while he was there, he was like, hey, so while I'm here, like swab the inside of my cheek, get some DNA, make me a clone. All right, I think I'm gonna be in trouble here in the next few years. We might as well have another one of me. And then the third option is just
He is Yoda.
No, because that would be a clone. But the third option would be he is just one of those species. Whatever George Lucas and the Star Wars canon and the expanded universe never really explained where Yoda came from, what his species is, what they're capable of doing. They all have the Force. But this could just be one of their other species. So I think those are the three options. Actual baby of Yoda, a clone, or just one of the Yoda species. What do you think What do you think it is?
What was the first one again?
A actual baby of Yoda.
Actual baby of Yoda. That's what I think.
You think that?
Maybe.
So you think this is the child of Yoda? Okay. I don't think it's that, just mainly because
Well, I think it's the clone.
Yoda would be a huge hypocrite if he was like, you're not allowed to fall in love and do stuff as a Jedi, and then he goes off and does it anyway. I think it's a clone. I think that when he was on Camino, he cloned himself, just knowing that there's a possibility of this happening. And so I don't know if we're gonna find this out this season or next season or when Baby Yoda toys stop selling. But that we just heard that there's going to be a lot of Baby Yoda toys. We don't know specifically what type. I think they're gonna sell out so much. We'll try to get some for Christmas. All right, calm down. But who knows? I don't know how we're gonna be able to do it. All right. We got some comments. Lewis, I don't think he's a clone, but I think Werner Herzog was trying to clone him. Okay, yeah, there's a part of it where in this chapter that we see like a heat signature of somebody. It's probably the Werner Herzog character. If you know his actual name, let me know. And you hear him say, just extract it and get rid of it or so. So what is he extracting? Midichlorians? Are midichlorians in the house coming back? Hopefully not. Hopefully we're done with ever talking about midichlorians. But yeah, that could certainly be an option. I don't know why the Empire would think, oh, the DNA of Yoda would choose to be on our side. But maybe I don't know how space DNA works.
Me either.
Zacliant. You think his name is just the Zacliant? I'm going to have to look that up. No. I got another comment to do the entire show in Werner Herzog's voice, and there's no way. But I will try to do Taika Waititi doing Adolf Hitler's voice and Jojo Rabbit. No, not going to do that. So yeah, I mean, we don't even know. We don't even know if that was the Werner Herzog character talking because we don't see. I mean, it could just be another German imperial warlord.
I'm German, so I'm related to Yoda.
Darth Baby Yodes. Oh yeah. So hey, I mean, who knows? There's a chance that like in episode 9 we find out this Baby Yoda is part of like the Knights of Ren or something. So yeah, I don't think that's true. I'm looking up his actual name. Oh, the client. You're right. Good job, Lewis. Werner Herzog, the client. So some more comments. Darth Yoda would balance the force, right? At this time, so what is this? 5 years after Return of the Jedi, do they need the balance back in the Force? I'm not exactly. I mean, there's so much that happens in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, and obviously the First Order makes a comeback, and so we don't know how that happened. We know nothing about Snoke, so who knows? Snoke might be involved.
Who's Snoke?
Snoke is the old guy with the cracked head and the robe in The Force Awakens, and then in The Last Jedi, he gets cut in half by Kylo Ren. He's like the really old. I don't know any of his words. If you write a sentence in the comments, I'll try to do my impression of him. So Ernie on the comments says they're harvesting midichlorians for a Palpatine clone. Oh, okay. So you think that this is how Palpatine makes his return? But didn't you think Palpatine would? I mean, wasn't he part of creating the clone army to begin with? Don't you think he just did that originally? Like, there's probably a ton of clones of Palpatine running around. I mean, geez, maybe Snoke is even a clone of Palpatine. Emperor and Darth possibly gone, only Luke. Yeah, so yeah. Ernie's next comment, remember midichlorians aren't born with a human, so if Sheev in episode 9 is a clone of him, they still need midichlorians to make him force sensitive. Oh.
We haven't seen episode 9.
Yeah, these are all theories. This is the reason we wanted to do this live, because I think what Disney Plus is doing by releasing them week by week is great. It's having conversation, because if they released all episodes all at once, we would just go on to the next episode. There would be no conversation about it whatsoever. And so that's a good bet right there. I haven't heard that theory, but yeah, the fact that maybe they were trying to take out the midichlorians, they've already created a Palpatine clone, but they need to make him force sensitive.
What's that?
Human, alien, etc.
Human, American.
I
don't know how to say it.
Genevieve says, I love your Star Wars shirt. Olive? Yeah, she's very excited about wearing it. So Lewis just commented it's going to keep us hooked until episode 9. So, I mean, do you all think that this is, like, they're going to tie in The Mandalorian? I apologize if you hear banging. Molly and my father-in-law are putting up shelves in Penny's room, and the studio is right underneath Penny's room. Maybe that wasn't the best idea, but if there's some banging, that's what you hear. Yeah, do you guys think that this is going to tie into episode 9?
Wait, what does that mean?
So do you think the things that happen in The Mandalorian, like you'll have to watch The Mandalorian before going to see episode 9, or you might not understand it?
I think.
You think that's true?
I mostly didn't understand any of that, but I'm just going to say I think.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, there hasn't been a TV show with Star Wars that has necessarily tied in. I mean, yeah, you can get the entire backstory by watching the Clone Wars or one of the other Rebels, one of the other cartoons that I haven't seen, but it's not like Marvel made the TV shows that they were doing integrate. But I think Disney Plus is obviously going to do some things a little differently. Lewis said, I don't think it's going to connect, but it will just get everyone pumped and excited. Ernie said they're skipping a week for episode 9 release, so he's thinking yes. That would make sense that they want to focus everybody's attention on episode 9, but yeah.
We're only on episode 3.
Yeah, Genevieve says it's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but like I was saying, none of that connected. I mean, I only watched like 2 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think I missed anything. Obviously, we're going to edit a lot of this out for the YouTube channel, but this has been fun. I like having this kind of conversation in Facebook. Once I realized that I had to actually scroll down to see what your comments were. So why don't we give our final take. Was there anything about this episode that we disliked? No. I thought this was a great episode. I would have liked to see more Baby Yoda, but that's always going to be the case.
In the second episode, there was lots of Baby Yoda.
There's lots of Baby Yoda.
Oh, Baby Yoda also tried to use Baby Yoda healing force.
But basically, this whole episode, he was either a little frightened and then asleep. More awake Baby Yoda. That's what we need. Jetpack flying a little wonky. I was impressed with their jetpack flying, because I always thought Boba Fett's jetpack flying was just like a one boost thing. It was just whoosh, and then he was done. But they were like legitimately Iron Man flying. All right, so what's our grade? What's this grade for this episode, this chapter?
110.
110. All right, so I was giving that a 10.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give it a 9. It's not getting a 10 yet.
Well,
but it probably will. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing that I disliked about it was
that we didn't really get to
that we didn't see more Baby Yoda. I'm not gonna give an episode a 10 if Baby Yoda is asleep during 80%
Yeah, but
of
that's
it.
but that's the cutest part.
Ernie, flamethrowers aren't completely useless. He completely torched that stormtrooper. Just absolutely destroyed that stormtrooper. And yeah. Chris, when he gives Baby Yoda back the ball head from his ship, they bonded forever. Yeah. I think any of us that have kids, that moment was just like, yep, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Also, we want to show Olive's drawing. Olive drew Baby Yoda. She's really excited about it. It's pretty good. I will say.
Needs bigger eyes.
I mean, you can never get too big of eyes. Yeah, let me see if I can show that a little better.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, there's no light there, but. Alright. What's it say? May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you. Awesome. Good job, Baby Yoda. Good job, Olive.
Baby Yoda rules.
Alright. So, thanks for watching this episode of Mike and Olive Review Things.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Baby Yoda.